Well, folks, Bruce here from the Coasters Club, and the interview series that we're doing now is with Durham Havill. Durham's well known to all of you, and Durham, really want to thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy, but really want to thank you for taking the time. Now, what's your full name?
Durham Maxwell John Havill.
Geez, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, my mother must have thought I was going to be a doctor to have a name like that.
Did you have a nickname when you grew up?
Not really. I was called Durham, and it got to the ham, and then it ended up Sauce. I was called Sauce.
Sauce?
Yeah, my brother Jeff always called me Sauce. Yeah, always.
So, what year were you born?
1944.
What does that make you, about 74?
Yeah.
Is it?
Coming up, next birthday, 75. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whereabouts were you born?
In Hokitika. Yep.
So that would be
the old nursing home in Hampden Street, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah.
And who were your mum and dad?
Jack and Nancy Havill. Mum was a Brooks from Hokitika, and of course Dad was the Havills of Arahura. Yeah.
So a pioneer family.
Pioneer family.
And what did your dad do?
Farming.
Always farming?
Always farming. Yeah.
Where did they meet? Did you ever hear?
No. Yeah, I know they were. I think it was at a dance somewhere in Hokitika. And then when Dad was courting, Dad went everywhere on a bike. He was actually a bike rider, a pretty good one too.
Yeah.
And Dad always courted. Mum always went in on the bike to Hokitika 2 or 3 times a week, I think. So,
Oh, dear, yeah.
Just like a normal courting couple.
Yeah, a normal healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So when your mum had you and you were born, where was your first home?
At Arahura.
On the farm?
Yeah, on the farm, yeah.
Do you remember it? Do you remember the house?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's actually gone down on the corner, down the road about half a mile now. Our old house, that was our original home, and then we moved into our grandfather's home, which was bigger next door. When Granddad moved on, and that house, after we sold the farm, both houses were shifted actually. One's out at Remu.
They must have been well built to be able to.
Oh yeah,
shift
they were
around.
all made out of Remu hard. Granddad wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah.
So, what did your family do when you were growing up as a kid? I guess how many kids were in the family?
There was 5 of us.
And what did you do?
3 girls and 2 boys.
What did you do for fun? Nowadays.
Oh, we had a great life growing up. We used to go often to the pictures on a Friday night at the Regent Theatre, often as kids. We'd get our ice cream and from the Stapleton ladies, and it's great memories really. And then we'd go home after the pictures, but we often went to the pictures.
It's surprising how many interviews I've done where they've talked about the Stapleton ladies.
Yeah.
They're obviously a big part of life, weren't they?
Yeah. We used to get the old, not the ordinary ice cream cone, we used to get one that was long and about 1 inch wide, and they squeezed the ice cream in that. That was always our ice cream. I think they were about 3pence, something 6pence, something like that. Not much.
Was there a chore that you did as a child that you didn't like doing?
Yep.
What was it?
Rubbing the shoots off the spuds every September school holidays. Like my father grew a garden that lasted for the whole year.
Right.
The carrots, parsnips, everything we had all year long. And, but oh hell, I hated that job. Dad had these great big sacks of spuds, and that was my job, was to rub the shoots off and then put them all back in the bag again.
Oh, it wouldn't be a small job.
Oh no. Well, yeah, we had enough for the whole year, and then that had to last us till we used to get our New Year spuds at Christmas time. That was the first lot of them. So.
And you're still doing that now, aren't you?
Yeah, not much different.
Did you read a lot at school?
I wasn't the greatest scholar. Definitely, I enjoyed. We had a great teacher at Kaihinu School. when we were 5, we had to bike to school.
Yep.
It was about a mile and a half or a bit more down the road, and you had to learn to ride the bike before you could go to school, so you had to start learning when you were 4. And they were always second-hand bikes. We got them handed down,
Yeah.
but they sometimes got a coat of paint. But yeah, no, they were great memories. And Miss Knowles and actually Mrs. Cowie, she taught me in the primers, and Miss Knowles taught me from standard 1 on till I went to high school.
The Cowie name's been around this area for a long time.
Yeah, it
hasn't
was Pat Cowie's mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a
Pat
school
Cowie's
teacher.
mother. Yeah, she was a school teacher, yep.
So you attended Kaihinu School.
Yep.
How many kids were there?
Oh,
Can you remember? Or is it?
yeah, there was, that was before the Arahura School was built for the Maori Pa over in Arahura.
Right.
All the Maori kids went with us to school.
Yep.
They used to come in on the train and usually walk home. They'd come in on the train at, I think they'd come in about 9:15 from Greymouth, and they'd hop on that and come down, and then they'd walk home, and they wouldn't go round past the Greyhound Hotel. They'd walk straight up the rail line. Yeah, that was that, and there'd be 25 Maori kids, and there was about 50 at school.
So you'd almost be honorary Ngāti Waewae.
Well, it was a great time growing up with them. Usually when we played sports, it was always Maoris against the Pākehās. But it was a lot of fun, and you know, a lot of my friends are those people at the park. They're good people.
So after you'd finished primary school,
Yep.
you obviously went to high school.
Yep. Went to high school, and I tell you what, Miss Knowles had ground us really well, because when we got to high school, we were surprised how far ahead we were.
And so which high school? Westland High?
Western High, yeah.
What was it called back then, Darren? Was it something technical? Was it
No,
a different
just
name?
Western. Well, I only remember it as
Westland High?
Western
Yeah.
High School, yeah. And well, our form teacher when we first went there was Stan Hunter. I never went in the bright person's class. I went in the woodwork and all those things that I like doing.
Yep.
And went there till had 2 terms. 2 years plus the beginning of the next year, and Dad got sick about 6 weeks before I was 15, and pretty crook, and I come home then to keep the farm going, so I left a bit early. Yeah.
I was going to say, you've had an incredibly successful business career, and one of my questions here was, which university did you go to?
I never went to any university, but when I left, and it's something that's always stuck in my mind, because I got my mum to ring up the school because I wanted my leaving certificate, and that was the May holidays. That was when I was leaving, so I biked in on the Friday to get my leaving certificate, and I always remember I had to go in and see the principal, and Nick Young was his name, and I went in there, and he said to me, "What are you doing leaving school?" And I said, "I'm going home to give my father a hand. I've been home for the last 6 weeks because he's been very ill." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go home and be a farmer like my father." And he turned around to me and he says, "You're a bright boy." He says, "You shouldn't be farming. You should be doing something else with your life." And I said, "But I love farming." And he sort of run down farming, to be honest. And after 2 or 3 to and throws, I got my heckles up, and I said something I regretted as I was going out the door, but I said to him, I said, "My father only went to standard 6, and I bet he could buy and sell you 2 or 3 times." Well, I admittedly was shown the door, and I never told Mum and Dad for a long time afterwards, because I thought Dad would give me a
around the
flip
ear.
around the ear, but it was the way I felt, because farming was a big part of my life. I loved it, and to say that I should be doing something different to farming didn't go down well with me. And in the end, when he kept saying that farming wasn't what I should be doing, I had to tell him that Dad only went to Standard 6 and he was doing all right.
Did you have a favourite subject at school?
Yeah, like woodworking.
So-
Harry Hawke was the teacher. That
Very
was
good. So you're obviously very good with your hands.
Oh, well, I enjoyed
Practical.
Yeah, just a practical guy. That's all I was, you know.
And a favourite teacher, would that be, which one would that have been?
Oh, Stan Hunter. He was our form teacher,
Yeah.
and he's a good bloke, Stan. Yeah, good bloke.
Now, you'd have, looking at the size of you, you'd have played sport.
Yeah, played rugby.
And I know you've played rugby almost through your entire life. It's only recently that you've stopped going to the elders and the bowl.
No, I had to give up early. I dislocated my shoulders 2 or 3 times, so I had to think of something else to do. And I thought, after we were married, I thought I'll go and play indoor basketball. But I put my shoulder out there too.
Oh, shucks.
So I did a bit of chopping for a few years.
So did you play footy in the first 11 or the
Yeah, first 15.
first 15?
Yeah,
Sorry, first 15.
Yeah, first 15. Even though I was only young, but I didn't last very long. And then once I left school, I went and played for Kiwi Juniors. Yeah.
So, if there was a close friend of yours back in the high school days, how would he have described you? Were you, what were you like? Quiet, conservative, rowdy? Were you
No,
a
I
lead?
don't think I was really rowdy, but I always felt I let my presence be felt wherever I was, especially on the rugby field. I loved rugby. Shame I had to give it up early. Still love it.
And I guess that flows through into the leadership qualities that you probably think you've had it naturally, but they've always been there, haven't they?
Well, I don't know. The first time, I got involved was I was asked to stand on the West Coast Farmers Lime Company as a director.
Right.
And I was only about 30 or 31. And, I put my name forward and Julie was elected to the board, and that was the first time I'd ever been involved in anything like that, I can tell you.
Sort of have a go at it.
Yeah.
So your first job in life was clearly farming.
Yep, definitely.
And this is a bit of a silly question, but when are you going to retire?
Oh, well, I'm slowing down a bit. And
I haven't noticed
I just, I love what I do, and I love the people I work with, and I like to be involved in things. I don't know, I do at Araturna Freighters, Andrew runs the place,
Yep.
and I just give him a hand with projects. If we've got a new project, then like the 3 Mile Mill project down there, I'll slowly knock that into shape. But, yeah.
It's certainly looking pretty jolly good at the moment.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, Durham, a question. How old were you when you started dating?
I suppose I was 18 or something like that. But
Do you remember your first date?
I remember most of those things.
And so, when did you meet Lorraine?
I met Lorraine. She was down working at Miller's for her old man in Hokitika, and Johnny, my cousin, and I were walking along the street, and we went in and we were having a look around, and I spied her, and I thought, oh, hell, she looks pretty good to me. So I always remember, because Ron McDougall, her father, came out to lay carpet in my sister's house up the road in Arrowhead Valley, Jennifer, when her and Ray Miller got married, and I said he was coming out to do the carpet, and he was going to have tea first and then go up and lay the carpet. I said, make sure you invite Lorraine. So she came out, and it was really funny, really, when you look back. I said to her, I get her out of the house, you see, and I said, oh, come with me and I'll show you a litter of little pigs. And little pigs are real cute when they're little.
Yeah.
And anyway, we had to climb over this fence. So I said, oh, I'll lift you up, you put your foot on the barbed wire, and then I'll lower you over the other side. Because Lorraine was only about 7 stone ringing wet, she wasn't very good. And anyway, when her foot slipped off the barbed wire, it went straight up and tore the backside out of her jeans.
Oh, no.
So that was a bit embarrassing.
Yeah. That was the first visit to the pig pen.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
But that was how we first met, and yeah.
She's always been the absolute love of your life, hasn't she?
Oh yeah, she's done. We've worked together all the way through our life.
Yeah.
And we've been mates and partners all the way through, and you know, when it come to money, she was Minister of Finance. We were always spending too quick, and she was trying to put the brakes on.
And look, Durham, in all the years I've known you, I've never heard you say anything at all. Although you did mention scones once.
Oh,
But that was an error that you made.
that was an error I made. I remember we only lived over the road from Mum and Dad when we moved into Arahura on the farm, and I said to them one Sunday night, I said, oh, what about making a batch of scones, you see? And Lorraine said, oh, I suppose I could try. So she made these scones, and she put them down, she said, better try it. So I'm trying it, and she's standing over me saying, are they as good as your mother's? And I was trying to avoid it, but the way I am, I say it the way it is. And unfortunately, I said, oh, nearly as good.
Oh.
Well, I never seen a scone for about 15 years after that. But she could still make a beautiful scone, but I buggered it up.
Oh, yeah, you definitely mucked that one up. So now you've got 2 kids, and they're both doing amazingly well.
Yeah.
And so Andrew's in, obviously, the boss man now in Aratuna.
Yep.
And what does your daughter do?
Judith, she works for a company. I think it runs casinos and that sort of thing in Australia.
Okay.
And she's been an international tax consultant for a long time, worked in London for a long time.
Wow.
And yeah, she's done pretty good, Jude, and she'll be over here in a few days' time. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh, she's coming home for Christmas?
Yep, coming home for Christmas,
Oh,
yeah.
that'll be absolutely first class.
Yeah.
Can you remember when one of the kids went to school for the first time? Do you remember that, or probably Lorraine would remember it more than you would?
Yeah, I remember going to when the kids went to school, but Lorraine did take them to school. I was busy.
Yep.
You know, we had the cows on those days, milking cows, and yeah. Although no, I probably, I would have been still milking cows. Yeah.
Durham, did you ever meet your grandparents?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
grew
a
up.
lot of people don't get to meet
Oh
them.
yeah, no. Granddad was old Granddad Havill. He was very fit right up till he was about 80 years old. He could swing an axe, he could do anything, and then all of a sudden he just went downhill, and his driving deteriorated a bit.
Yeah.
But I remember he got caught up in the side of the house one day backing her out, because he used to back it out so far early in the morning before he went to town, and we had to lever it off the side of the house. And then I said to Granddad, I said, oh, I'll back her out for you. And he said it might be good practice for you. He knew I had to back it out.
Yes.
He wasn't going too good. But and Nana and Granddad Brooks, I used to stay in there often on a Friday night or a weekend, and often I'd go and have, always went down for lunch with them when I was at the high school.
Yep.
Granddad died, but Nana she lived for quite a long time, and yeah, we had a lot of fun with Nana.
So that would be a guiding influence in your life?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Probably not as much as your father, but you know.
Yeah, no, Dad was, Dad and Mum were, yeah, they were great people, great parents, yeah.
What would you, during your lifetime, has there been an invention that you could say, that's the thing that's changed everything for me?
Well, probably diggers and dozers.
Yep.
You know, I love them. I love driving them, and especially dozers. Spent a lot of years on dozers. In fact, I bought the first dozer just before we were married, and sort of kept us poor for a while.
Sounds like a dozer.
But we developed the farm, and yeah, it was you know, I loved machinery, tractors. Didn't matter what it was, you know, you just loved it. And probably something that they don't use much now, but I found it very good on the farm up here at Stafford and Waimea, was the rotary drainer. You know, you could just do miles of drains in a day, and it just made a big difference to the heavy land. Really did.
Mate, it revolutionised it.
Yeah. Oh well, you dug it with a shovel otherwise. Yeah.
Did your dad have a fridge?
A fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always had a fridge?
Yeah. Fridge. Oh, yeah. I can remember when we got our first fridge because we had a safe under the tank at the back of the house. That was always where everything was kept up until we got the fridge, and we put that in the hut next door when we first got the fridge. But you know, I can remember the old safe. Yeah.
What about a first TV?
Yeah, I can remember the
Really
first TV. In fact, Dad and Mum had the first TV. Oh, it must have been. Oh, it was well before we were married. That's right. And then when we moved in, Nana Brooks bought us a TV.
So it'd be obviously
Black and white. Yeah.
Pretty exciting days, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
How's the world different today? Is there anything you can say about how it's different today than when it was when you were a kid?
Oh hell, it's a lot different. You know, communications now are just totally different. You know, we had a party line phone, that's all we had. And if someone was on it gassing, you couldn't get on it. You know, it used to frustrate me when I'd be wanting to pass.
So how did you handle it when you got old gas bag up the road, whoever that happened to be, talking for hours?
Oh, I used to pull the fuse out, cut her off, and then put it in and work use the phone.
So, anyway, did she ever find out?
Oh, I don't know. She wondered why she was cut off.
Was there a person during your life that changed the course of your life? Someone who come along, obviously Lorraine did.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else early on that where they helped you determine a direction?
No, Lorraine was the first major change from Mum and Dad and living with Mum and Dad. You know, they were great parents.
Yeah. So, how would you describe your sense of humour? I mean, every time I've seen you for years, and every time I see you, you've got a bloody sparkle in your eye. So how would someone describe your sense of humour?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I'm just me. I do like to see a bit of fun in life, and but there's also the serious side from my point of view. I take most things quite seriously. You know, when you're in business, you've got to make sure that you're playing your part in business and making sure that people have the confidence in what you can do for them, and that's the important thing.
It'll be consistent.
Always stand behind what you're doing.
So, can you recall a time during your life where you've gone, this is me, this is fantastic, I'm loving this? You probably had a lot of them, but
yeah, no, I can't really pinpoint one. I went from one thing to the other and through life, and that was mostly through local government that I had those opportunities, but yeah, I love farming, I did, and of course then I went gold mining when we found the gold on the farm. That was another episode for 9 years where we were mining.
How did you find the gold? Did you go and were you prospecting or?
How did I find the gold?
Yeah, how did you?
I found the gold digging the septic tank for our new house at Piper's Flat. And I didn't find it. I had Chris Cook, our neighbour from Arahura.
Yeah.
He had a Hamilton backhoe on the back of his Fortune tractor, and I said, would you mind coming up and digging a hole for my septic tank? And he says, oh, yeah, I'll come up and do it for you, Durham. So he comes up, and he was there about 8 o'clock in the morning digging away. And I was actually feeding out, and he come running over to me. And he said, Durham, you better come and have a look. And I said, what's wrong? Oh, he says, the ground's full of gold. And I said, no, it's not, it's only tailings. He says, come and have a look. And there was only a skim of tailings where I'd level it out with the bulldozer for my house.
Yeah.
But there was only 2 feet of tailings, and there was original ground underneath. And of course that ground is still there around that house, where Thompsons have got it now. But he was absolutely right, because I said, get on, I've got to be in this thing in a week, because I had to leave Arahura's house. And he said, I'll put a bit aside, you pan it. And he was absolutely right. That was quite rich ground. Yeah, no, that would have, if we'd have dug it up, it would have went, a few ounces in there around the house.
Now, looking at you've had some amazing things happen with your life. What made you put your name forward for the county council? I think you started here in 1977.
Yep.
There'll be a few out there that well and truly weren't born back then, but what made you, was it just a natural thing or?
No, it wasn't natural at all. We went along to the Federated Farmers meeting in the old 1 Mile Hall at Arahura, and I said to the guys that were there, because I was only a young joker, I was only 32 or 3, and I said to them, one of you guys has got to stand for council, because I said we've always had a representative in Arahura on the county council, and Ivan Olsen was retiring through ill health. He was our county councillor, and I said, so one of you guys has got to do it.
Yep.
And I was looking around the room, and there was, the Bradleys, Gordon and Gordon Bradley and Arne Bradley and my father, Jack Jelly, Chris Cook. They were all there, and they were at the right age to do it. They were, I don't know, getting about 60, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I said, one of you fellas has got to stand up. And in the end, they turned on me and says, we're going to get you to stand. And I said, but I'm only a young fellow, I've got a lot of life ahead of me. And they says, we want you to stand. And that's how it come about. And in the end, I said, right, I will. So that year, I actually went round and visited people at election time, which I never did after that.
And did your first bit of politicking?
Yeah, I did my first bit, right up to Otera I went that first time. Got duly elected, and that's how it all started off. Alan Hewlett and I we were in the northern riding. We only went as far as Seaview.
Right.
Yeah, Blue Spoon.
So 1983, you become chairman. Was that a robust debate, or what happened there? How did you become chairman of the county council?
Well, I can tell you, I can remember it as clear as the bell. Mick Sullivan and I were at a South Island Tourist Association meeting, conference in Greymouth at the Regent Theatre.
Yeah.
And we're at the theatre, and then we were walking back to King's Hotel to have lunch. And on the way back, Mick Sullivan turned round to me and he saw Durham. He said, I'd like you to go home and tell your wife that you're going to be county chairman at the next meeting. And because that was after the elections. And I said, not me. I said, I've only been on here 6 years. There's people there that have been there longer than me. I said, no. He said, it's all cut and dried. We've all agreed that you're going to be the next county chairman. That's cut and dried. That's it. So I come home and told Lorraine. She got a hell of a shock too. But yeah, I thought, well, I was only, 39, 38, or 39 I would have been. And I thought, oh, well, I'll give her a go. Yeah. I was councillor under him, and he was a wonderful chairman. A wonderful chairman.
Very forward-thinking man.
Oh, very forward-thinking, and yeah, he thought ahead. He had everything planned. Yeah, he was an outstanding chairman. And the first term or so, I was with Mark Wallace as well. And that was an education. I was with Mark on the Abattoir company, and that formed to get the Kokiri works up and running.
So then, when the councils were merged in 1989, you ended up as mayor of Western District.
Yeah.
How did that? Because there was, I think Henry Pearson was the mayor, and you were the chairman.
Yeah.
Was that done by vote, or how did that work?
No, it was an election for it, but I wasn't too keen. It was getting pretty big, and I was thinking, gee, I got my farm to run, I've got other things to do. But my fellow councillors said, you are standing for mayor. And I said, but I won't even be here. I'm going on a Golden Oldies rugby trip to Canada, to Toronto. And we're away for 6 weeks. And I said, I won't even be around to campaign. And I said, I won't be here. And they said, you're still standing, you'll get elected. And
so you didn't campaign?
No, I wasn't here. I got home a few days before the election, yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. And that was the way it was. We'd already pre-booked, and I was looking forward to this trip, and it was a wonderful trip too. And but yeah, I wasn't here to campaign, so that's. But in the end, I got duly elected, so knuckled down, and I made Henry Pearson my deputy, and
he was pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh, Henry was good to work with. Very supportive, and worked, because we had to unify both the borough and the county together, and he was very constructive in giving me the support I needed.
So you finally decided in 1998 that your time as mayor, you wanted to do something else, and my understanding was that you were going to join Andrew and put a bit of effort into Aratuna Freighters.
Yeah, that was. I'd done 9 years as mayor, and I thought, well, you can be in something too long, and I thought, well, it's new blood, won't do any harm. So, and I really dearly wanted to give Andrew a hand with Freighters. It was growing, and it had the opportunity to grow, and I wanted to be with him. And we hadn't had probably enough time working together, and I felt that was really important to me, to work with him.
No lad can have a benefit like working with his father. No question in my mind. So you kicked off, and you had you have a truck and a trailer, and away you went. Yeah,
well, when we first started, I was still farming, and I was gold mining at the time, and I thought, now I used to do a bit of carting livestock for the wards up the Arahura Valley, Jack and Bill Ward, and other ones, and I'd cart lime for different ones, and I was getting paid for it. It didn't look too bad. So, and of course they deregulated the rail, so you could cart more than 40k against rail. So that was what I thought about the opportunity then, was to look at it, and and Andrew was keen on the trucks once he got into it.
So here we are now in nearly 2019.
Yeah,
it's a lot bigger now.
It's bigger than I ever thought it was going to get, but we enjoy it. What I like to do, and because the coast is very important to me, and the people of the coast. So I just wanted to create as many jobs as I could on the coast. Instead of having them coming from Canterbury, create them here and let them go to Canterbury to work. And that was a driving force, because it's a pretty tough game, and you're not going to get rich quick running trucks up and down the road, but it's very satisfying, and the people that work with you also make it very satisfying, you know, from the people in the office to the guys out on the road. She's good.
She's a big business. Now, Durham, I've got a note here. I've always wondered how we got the Hokitika Bridge. And I keep hearing that you and John Olsen were in it up to your eyeballs. Now, how did we get that bridge? Because it didn't stack up.
Well, we thought for a while it was going to stack up, and because we'd shortened the bridge up and we had a causeway out to the end of the island.
Right.
And it didn't look too bad then. And but then they said, no, we were restricting the river too much. So we had to start off from one bank to the other virtually. And it didn't look very good. And Robin Odoms, who was the secretary of the National Roads Board in the Canterbury region, and Canterbury West, well, the South Island, and he rung me up, and he'd already rung John and said things don't look good for this meeting. And so John because John had worked hard on this to make it stack up, really hard. And John says, it's up to you.
Oh, he passed the buck.
Well, he said he reckoned I had the influence. So anyway, it was Robin Odoms rang me up too, and he says, you've got to get the numbers on the roads board to vote for this bridge. And there was only, this was their last meeting before they were wound up and the transport agency was starting up.
Right.
And so I rang Murray Borlace, who was on the board from Nelson. Jeff Gearing was also on the board. They were the two South Island guys. He was from the Mayor of Ashburton. And there was two or three others, and there was Gordon Mason, who was the Rodney County chairman at the time.
Was he a judge?
No. He became Sir Gordon later in life.
Right.
But I knew him very well through the Counties Association because I was on the executive for a number of years. We used to go to Wellington to meetings on a regular basis. And I thought, I wonder would Gordon support us? Oh, it's only one way, so I rang him up because I knew that the two others wouldn't. So I had to get Gordon Mason on side. So we rung up, and actually when I said to myself, I've just got the documentation for our meeting, he said, it doesn't look too good for your bridge. That was what he said to me first. I said, I know, that's why I'm ringing you. And Gordon, we talked about it, and he said, we need the money for the medium barriers between the motorways and that sort of thing, Durham. It's getting very essential. And I said, well, you'll get that anyway, but we'll never get this bridge when the National Roads Board goes. I said, you know and I know that this is our last opportunity. So we talked for a fair while, and then he turned around to me and he said, this toll call must be costing you a fortune. And I said, well, I'll get off it when you say, yes, you'll back me bridge. And he said, all right then, I will.
Wow.
And that was
so that's
I
how
got off that phone, and I still was worrying about the meeting because it was a big call for him to do it. He was in Auckland,
Yep.
and for him to back us, I wasn't sure, but he was a very honourable guy, and I said, well, he said yes.
And that was it?
And that was it, yeah. We got the phone call after the meeting, and and I said to him, next time I see you, I'll shout for you. And we're at a local government thing, and the beer was free, and I went home with a jug full. And he said, "Trust you, free beer, and you're shouting for me." Joking, but he was sick at the time and couldn't come down, which was a real shame because he was a real great friend.
Now, you were a driving force behind Phoenix Meat Company.
Yeah, had a bit to do with that.
You're on the board, and of course there at that important time when it was sold, and the farmers all did so well out of it.
Yeah, but we did, when we initially built it, it was Phoenix Meat Company and the Abattoir Company, because our local abattoirs were past their use-by date, and we thought, well, we can get our local trade meat killed at the new works. So that was where there was amalgamation.
Yep.
Malky Wallace was very much behind from the Phoenix side, and I ended up, when Mark retired, I ended up as chairman of the Abattoir Company, and we drove it, and Rob Muldoon come down and opened it when we duly built it and opened it, and gave us $1 million, which was
Be a lot in those days.
it was a lot of money in those days. It was a big lift, and so there was great celebrations. And but in the end, I ended up as a director on Phoenix board, and then not long before we sold it, I was chairman. And we made a decision to sell it because we felt it was a very good offer. Richard Cornelius was our general manager. Great person and a great operator, and he talked to the board, and because we were up against it, we had other companies coming in trying to pay more and get our stock off us, so it was tough. But now the works is going very well. Kills a lot bigger volumes than we did, and
it's been a great success story.
Yeah,
it really has.
Yeah.
Now, also, I know that you chaired the Ross Lime Company, and you did that for a number of years.
No, I didn't.
Was it the Ross?
Yeah, no, it was West Coast Farmers Co-op. Yeah, Ross Lime.
Or were you a director?
Yeah, no, I was only more a director than that, and then I left that, and but I was on the different companies. Tasman Tyres, I was a director on that for a number of years.
I see that. Now, one of the, I mean, I've got a couple of things that I want to talk about. One is the Hollyford Highway.
Yep.
It's been something that you've pushed back with you and John Olsen, and of course you and I have pushed it, and we're going to continue to push it. What is it that drives you, that's been able to keep you focused on trying to get this thing considered and across the line?
Simply because it's common sense, and you can't beat common sense. That if that road was built, it would straight away take the pressure off the Te-Anau Milford Road, which is they're getting very worried about the volume of traffic that goes into Milford. They could go either way from the turn-off just outside the tunnel, but it gives people the opportunity to see the best part in scenic beauty of anywhere else in New Zealand. There's nowhere matches that trip through there, and I think it's something that disappoints me that people haven't got that opportunity. Through the red hills, when the sun's setting, the red hills are not red, they're crimson. It's just the most outstanding view. And for people to not have that opportunity when it actually makes common sense, because you're cutting down on your emissions, because it only takes, to the Haast Hotel, it's only about 140 k's, and
it's not far, is it?
No, and it's a long way around the other way, and it is common sense, and that's what makes me want to drive it. It's common sense, and common sense always wins in the end. We get these people that conservationists that don't want anyone going there. Why not? It's only a road through a beautiful part of our country, and that road should be built and give the people the opportunity, take the pressure off the Te-Anau Milford road, and it's common sense.
It's clear that at the present time the political support is limited. But having said that, the support in the communities on the coast and in Southland, Te Anau, is huge. I can't quite work that out.
Yeah, no, it is huge, and you know, I get asked all the time lately, you know, what's happened? Is it gone off the boil? And I said, well, it's no use bringing it on the boil while the environment's here now with the Greens because Greens don't want to do anything. They want to lock everything up, and we're going to be fighting to keep the coast from getting locked up at the moment. But it's a real shame. But in Southland, the people in Te Anau and down there, they're tremendous supporters. There's that many. You go to a hall there and she's chock-a-block, and they're all, you know, listening to hear what you've got to say. And we had that opportunity, and I was disappointed that National missed that chance they had to do it, because we weren't asking for money. We weren't asking for anything. We could have made it as a toll road, and then they would have owned it after 30 years. It was just a common sense thing.
Well, I guess it's not dead, and look, for me, I know there's a large group of us that will continue to push it.
Yep.
Now, what made you come back to council? You've come back for 3 years, and I guess the first year was a little bit rugged, but this last year's been pretty cool. What made you come back?
I was a bit disappointed the way things were going. When Mike said he wasn't going to stand again, and I thought, hell, where do we go here? And I'd done a lot of work with you, and I thought, now if I could get Bruce to stand for mayor, and I'd go on to lend a hand. I just felt it was that important for the well-being of our district, because it was off track, and none of Mike's making, but it was not working quite the way I felt it should. Like, I remember the old days. When I left, we had $180,000 worth of debt and a few million in the bank. So I wanted to lend a hand to bring it back on track. And the first year was a bit rugged, but it had to be rugged. It had to be sorted out. It was sorted out. And now, this last 12 months, I'm extremely confident where this council's going now, because we've got a great CE, and we're getting that team behind the CE that's working well. And I think that's the important thing. One or two probably more changes, but I'm really confident that we're on the right track.
Well, Durham, as we wind this up, I want to go to the Queen. The Queen ringing you up and saying, I want to give you one of these thingamajigs. How did that go? I was so proud when I heard, and I even now the hair stands up on the back of my neck.
Yeah, it was proud.
Yeah.
I was proud of being looked upon as one of the leaders of our community, and it felt so good. And when I went to Wellington with my family, proudest day of my life. It was pretty special. Yep.
Well, Durham, I don't think we could get a better ending than ending with the Queen making an award, you being there with Lorraine,
yeah,
the kids being there, the grandkids being there. I just can't see how we could finish this in any other way.
No, it was a highlight of my career.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And coasters, you'll be able to find the full recording in the Hokitika Museum. It's on a memory stick. You'll also be able to find it on our YouTube channel. If just type in Durham Havill, a coaster. And you'll also see this interview spread into 7 separate interviews over the month of January. And it'll start early in January. And I think, Durham, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Bruce. Yeah, it's been. I look back, there's one or two things, as you said, the house, Hollyford Road, we haven't finished, but everything else is, I feel pretty comfortable and with where we've got to. And the greatest thing about being on council or being part of our community, that's the important thing. The West Coast is a great place to live, and we have great people here, and it's enjoying to be part of the West Coast.
I'm like you, Durham. I just love living here. I just love it.
Yeah, I couldn't see anywhere else to go. I just love being part of Westlands and part of the West Coast.
Well, there we go, folks. That was Durham Havill, a coaster.